Welcome back to another video tutorial. This time we're going to go into daily reports. So from the home screen of ProjectSight Mobile, I can tap on the daily reports card as long as I have permissions to see it. And it will take me to the daily reports list view. I've got daily reports from various different dates in here. The most recent ones are at the top that I was working in, so they're not necessarily ordered by date. I can but it's going to show me the ones I was recently working in, which can be helpful as well. To create a new one, I'll just walk you through creating a new daily report so you can see every piece of functionality that exists for dailies. On the bottom right, I'm going to hit the blue plus button and create a new one, and I can specify the date that I need that for. So I'm going to say today and hit add. And it's going to bring up a new daily report. It's going to stay in draft status until I either change it to open or another status, or I assign it to someone or CC someone on this daily report. At that point, it will automatically move to open status. So if I want to avoid that and keep it as a draft, then I can work in this throughout the day and then assign it or CC someone on there later. Important to note that draft records are only visible by the author and a super admin on the web, aka a portfolio admin. So I'm going to go through each field here and you can see what's available in the daily. Keep in mind, if you've been using other products like Raken in the past or some other product to do daily reports, keep in mind what kind of evaluate as we go what the functionality in ProjectSight is as compared to those to see if this is going to work for you or if you see any gaps in the functionality that need to be addressed. So first things first, I have the weather, and this is auto-populated as you can see for total rain and snow. I can also automatically pull weather from a weather station, any one that I designate, or if I have my own custom one on the site, I can connect to that as well. And that's set up in the web on the template for daily reports in the configuration. I recommend having this set to auto because the weather will populate into the daily report every hour on the hour. You can also add it manually. So if I hit the plus button on the weather here, it will bring up some notes. I can type in notes throughout the day, but I can hit the plus button on the top right corner to add a weather entry. This is the manual version of that, so I can add the time, temperature, let's just say it is 74 degrees. Conditions are clear, and hit select. Humidity, wind, you might not know this information, that's why it's helpful to pull it from a weather station, but we'll leave that there and we'll change the time to about a minute ago. And I have some custom fields down there as well. I can report downtime for weather and add any other custom fields that I want to do. And then on the top right, I can either hit the done button to log this weather entry, or I can hit the plus to save it and create another one right off the bat. I'm going to hit done. So I've got this weather entry saved there. And then I can go back to the actual daily report. So you can see there's a weather entry there that has some information in it. I can go back into that, the weather log there, and add more entries as needed, or it'll pull automatically as I'm working if it's set to auto. Moving up one space to lost productivity, I can go in there and track the number of hours that I might have lost for productivity. And then going down below weather, I can start adding labor, man hours. So I've got 0 hours in here. The big number is approved. The small number underneath it is pending. It has not been approved yet. And how many workers are involved in that labor entry. So I can create a new one with the plus button on the top right corner, or I can copy from a previous date. And if I tap that one, it will let me copy from yesterday if one exists. One did not exist yesterday. So I can copy from a specific date. But for this one, I'm going to hit the plus and create a new labor entry. Okay, so this is where it differs a little bit from other products where we tie everything very closely to the crew and the workers inside that crew. So if I come into the company, and my crew, I have one crew there and I can hit select. I have a status for this labor entry and I will only have access to approve that labor if I have a specific role. So otherwise you won't see that option to change that. So then I can enter the number of workers. Let's say there's 10. And they have 8 hours. And I can choose the location on the project that they were working. Let's say they were working on first floor today. Hit select. Okay, so let's go in and we can add the work description, we can add attachments with photos, we can add PDFs, we can link drawings of where they were working that day. We can label, enter overtime hours, labor cost codes, things like that. Those are custom fields. And I can hit done, or I can hit plus to continue adding labor records. But I'm gonna hit done. So I've got 8 hours pending, 10 workers. And if I wanted to, I could tap that Acme construction record there and approve that. Or if I have 30 of them in here or whatever it is, I can tap the check mark on the top and approve all labor. Again, that's a permission that you would have. It's important to note that when you're doing a report on this, or something like a super daily equivalent in ProjectSight, that we only account for approved hours in the man hours total, whereas other programs might include everything in various different statuses. If it's pending or approved, they might include that. We only include approved labor hours, and it will automatically do the math for you. So if I back out, you see that I've got 0 in the labor because it's not been approved. I've got 8 pending. So if I can go back into that workforce and I can hit approve all with the check mark button, and now that one's been approved, and now there's 0 pending. So if I come back, I now have 8 hours and 0 pending hours there, and I can continue to add more entries into that labor throughout the day. Moving on, I have equipment. So if I hit the plus there, I can copy equipment that was used the day before, or I can hit the plus and add new equipment. Let's say it's a 10-ton crane, hit select. I've got the rate for that. I've got the company that's under. I've got the crew that used it, how many cranes I used, how many hours I had on that crane. Let's say it was 12. So it puts total hours in there for that equipment, and I can add notes in there with comments, PDFs, drawings, attachments, anything like that I need for that equipment record. And again, with the plus button, I can continue to add more equipment entries. I can hit done. And now I've got 1 equipment record for the day, and we'll go back. And now I've got 1 equipment in the daily report. So far we've tracked lost productivity, weather, labor, and equipment. Notes, I can add more photos, I can upload videos, I can capture new videos, I can link records to this in the records section there with the plus. If my daily report spawned another daily report, for example, or an action item or a punch list, what have you, you can hit the plus button in the records section. And let's grab a punch item and select. And now that punch item is linked to the daily report. Very simple to do. If you're going to link a record to another record, it has to already be created in the system. So that's just something to note there. And then I can do web links. I can assign this daily to somebody. I can CC them on that. And if they are assigned or CC'd, they're going to get an email when this is created, or when it's assigned to them, or when anything changes in there, they're going to get an email on that, especially status changes for this record. And then down below, I have custom fields. And if there's something missing in the daily report that you want it to do, you can always create a custom field with various different types in there to get that information logged. It's important to note that there are 3 types of daily reports in the system. There's a basic that includes hours and days. There's a basic that includes hours and days and workers. And then there's a detailed record that includes company contacts. So there's 3 types of daily reports that you can set up on the web, and they will automatically create for each day. So there's different ways you can set that up. And again, as a reminder, you can set weather up as automatic or manual in the web as well. And that covers daily reports.